soy músico, bajista, y in English I've been playing music for over 50 years. My grandparents were professional musicians. I grew up around music, and when I reached my teens, it was the time when the British music scene was starting with all the bands we know, like the Rolling Stones and the Beatles, Led Zeppelin.
I was rehearsing for my first tour with a recording artist in Minneapolis, and the guitarist in this group was the roommate of Steve. They were sharing a house together, and I was introduced to Steve, but very briefly. So a few years later, we met again. We worked in a band together starting in 1991.
So my grandparents were professional musicians. My mother was an excellent pianist but didn't play in public. So I grew up with music. When I was 3 years old, my job was to turn the pages for the musicians in my family to count and turn the pages. The first time I wanted to play bass, my mother took me to see the Count Basie band when I was 11. And I loved the drummer, Sonny Payne, but afterwards I heard all the bass parts in my head. And a few years ago, I had some custom earplugs made, and they told me my ear canals properly. I think that, and I was hear the bass first. Duke Ellington, Count Basie, I grew up with, and then there's Miles Davis, Charles Mingus, Coltrane, with big influences in the 60s, and all the blues and soul music. Later I became a country music fan too. When I was 18, I took some lessons in jazz. There was not much music education available in jazz when I was growing up, but when I was 18, I went and worked for the United States Air Force in Turkey for a year and a half during the height of the Vietnam War. And that was my real musical education, playing 4 to 6 sets a night of all kinds of American music. I joined 2 groups. One was called East of Eden, which was recently featured on a Mexico City radio station. Then I joined Manfred Mann and some other bands, and ended up mostly doing studio work until 1981 when I moved to New York. So I played on about more than 40 major label albums during that time. In 1981, in Britain, in the UK, was when they really started using a lot of synthesizers, and like Keith Richards said, they started making records on a typewriter. The computers started disappearing. And then a little later, 2 years later in the States, it was the same. There was less use of musicians in studios. So I started looking for live work, and after a year in New York, I started touring with Laura Branigan, and in fact one of the first places we played was 1983 in Mexico City for a month. We played there for 3 weeks. That was before the earthquake there.
Fue en 1996 cuando iniciamos, haciendo un concierto por mes. Tuvimos la suerte que Martín conoció a Steve y lo invitó, y él participó en nuestros primeros conciertos. In 2004, we decided to stay here. We thought that we could still be creative here. And we also wanted to learn more about Latin music.
Se llegó de visita y le gustó mucho el formato que teníamos y quería aprender algo de jazz, entonces de jazz latino. Entonces lo invitamos a echar el palomazo, le llamamos los músicos, que quiere decir que lo invitamos a tocar así de forma informal.
The next year, in 2004, Tete and Martin invited us to play at the Jazz Festival together, and the rest is history, I guess.
Next year, just before email, Martin sent me a fax and invited me to come back and play in Cuates y Cuetes for a month with him.
Él también nos invitó a otros músicos, que enriqueció la escena musical y que además músicos, que es lo que se necesitan los músicos de Vallarta, precisamente personas como Steve, ¿no? Músicos tan talentosos y que también atraen otros músicos de diferentes partes, tanto de Estados Unidos como de Europa.
In the United States, when Steve was playing music there, he was known to be a person that was very helpful to good musicians, to good responsible musicians. He was very helpful. He provided work for hundreds of musicians in that city through his booking agency. Steve, he's a helpful person. He's a helpful person, and if you're good at what you do as a musician, he's more than willing to help you improve with just suggestions or knowledge or a book, maybe a book that you need to use, or sometimes he just gives strings away to bass players that don't have any.
Played Carnegie Hall twice, and I ended up working with a band called Climax. Their record went to #1 in the American charts, so I was there for a year, and things turn over, you know.
Creo que a través de Martín, incluso, no recuerdo ya bien, fue una vez que se acercó a The Jazz Foundation y lo conocí a él primero y después conocí a Lisa. Fue poco después de haber abierto este espacio que era un club de jazz. Y bueno, inmediatamente me di cuenta de que estaba frente a una persona que sabía del tema y me ofrecía incluso ayudar a promover la música a través de clases que él daría sobre la historia del jazz, ¿no?
Si él no reconoce su trayectoria, no sé si no es que esté consciente por lo tan buen músico que es.
Y se da un tiempo, probablemente 40 minutos antes del comienzo de la presentación, para ordenarse, poner las cosas en su sitio, en el escenario. No todos los músicos son así.
Pues es que decidimos darle las gracias a Steve y a Lisa, porque de poder haber decidido quedarse en cualquier otra parte del mundo, yo siento que Puerto Vallarta debemos de decirle y agradecerle que esté en estos 15 años. Yo en mi mente lo tengo desde hace 20 años, porque son más, 23, porque nosotros tenemos 24 años ya con el festival y él ha participado muchas veces a partir de 97, ¿no?
He still believes in live music and respect for musicians. I think what this is helpful. It is helpful to remind people that there is good live music here, many good musicians. And all the tourists seem to want to go to the tours with pistas and wedding bands, bandas de bodas.
Que puede enseñar a los músicos a vivir una carrera con más retos, ¿no? A perder el miedo a hacer cosas. No es necesario que alcancen una fama, ¿no? Lo importante es que logren su desarrollo como músicos al mayor nivel posible.
Musicians have to go play commercial music in a hotels or something, you know, it's hard for them to, difficult here for anyone to do English assistant.
Y que sigan tocando, que Steve esté bien de salud, que también es el deseo sobre eso.
We still love it here, and I think I have to repeat what Steve said, is I think we like the people most of all here. Yeah, we've been treated very well here.